Now, a lot happened last year, and I'm sure we want to forget most of it. But with real estate, we saw accelerated growth, and depending on where you stand, you might want to see these trends continue into the future. So today we're going to look back at 2021 and talk about what factors went into this accelerated growth. We're also going to look ahead at 2021 and should we be worried with foreclosures? This is a hot topic right now. And then we'll wrap it up with just a little bit of guidance. So stick around as we go over our Chicagoland real estate market. Hi, I'm Jake Tysiak, that guy that sells houses, and today we're taking a look back through the 2020 real estate market to figure out exactly what contributed to our 6.4% increase in price across the Chicagoland MLS. Now, DuPage County and Will County are two areas we focus on as well, and we saw healthy increases in both of those areas, with DuPage going up 6.9% and Will County 8.9%. Well, graphs we're going to be going through today will be specifically for Chicagoland area. However, we do have all those graphs for DuPage County as well as Will County with those stats down below if you really want to take a look at some more hard numbers. In order to really figure out exactly what happened, we need to go back and look at some of the trends that happened last year, starting off with how many homes actually sold. Now, when we look through the sold prices, understand this is a lot of a reflection of exactly what was happening 45 to 60 days prior, as most of the time you need this amount of time to complete the inspections and mortgage process to the actual closing itself. Of course, you can see when that shelter in place went into effect, we saw a quick change of pace. Instead of heading into our very aggressive spring market where we see new homes coming on the market, new buyers coming out taking a look at homes, everybody just sort of paused. We saw about half the activity we traditionally do throughout March. But then once things started to loosen up, buyers started to come back out a little bit as they were a little bit more precautious, as we saw supplies return for safety precautions. Now, once we did get caught up, the buyers stayed strong. Yes, there was about 3 months we saw slower than average growth, but then the next 6 months that followed were just incredibly strong. Now, of course, buyers are only one part of the equation. We need a home to purchase, and we need sellers. And once that shelter in place went into effect, of course, sellers slowed down as well. But they were much more reluctant to return to the market. While buyers continued to write offers and we saw more contracts and home purchases into the fall market, we never saw that increase in sellers as they decided to wait out. And it actually led us to see inventory levels lower than we've seen in over 10 years. Combining the fact that not only do we have buyers out there, we've got record low interest rates, and now we're seeing even more buyers in the form of millennials who are moving out of the city and looking for places where they are finding themselves having to work out of as well as live out of. So couple those two, and it's not surprising that we saw this growth coming out of 2020. So the question then becomes, what does 2021 look like? Are we going to continue to see prices to go through the roof, or are we headed for a storm of foreclosures and our market's going to tank? Well, I don't see the latter happening. I continue to see the prices increasing, but not necessarily at rates we saw in 2021, somewhere in the median. Now, as far as last year, yes, we saw delinquencies go up. Actually, in May was when we first saw our spike, and that was obviously because people were stuck at home and income was limited. However, since that time, delinquencies have continued to fall month after month after month, which is a great sign. Now, when we look at the foreclosure rates, we've actually seen decline year after year. And when you look back at 2008 and the wave of foreclosures that came from that, there were so many factors that contributed to that. It wasn't just the fact that all of a sudden people couldn't afford their homes. It started off with just lending getting a little out of control. Rates dropped and money was easy to come by. So this made loans available to people who shouldn't have qualified, who didn't have the proper income, or had too many homes out there, or too highly leveraged. It just wasn't really regulated properly, and things got out of control, and people were trying to grab cash as fast as they can, and this led to a position that was highly leveraged. And once that leverage shifted, it all blew up. Now, when we look at 2020, we did have a major event in our life. COVID was no joke, and I think it took a lot of people, me definitely being one of them, by surprise as what kind of effect it would actually have. However, when we look at the stability of it and how we responded, yes, there was a loss in some income. However, home prices have increased. And with that, we've seen more equity in homes. Now, equity is a big factor when it comes to fending off foreclosures. And we are seeing more equity in homes today. Obviously, with the increase in prices, homes are worth more today than they were a year ago. 42% of Americans actually own their home outright with no mortgage. And on top of that, we're seeing only about 13% of homeowners that have less than 20% equity in their home. And of course, 20% is a big number when you look at either refinancing or lending. This allows you more options the more equity you have in your home. A home equity line of credit might be a great alternative to open up now and have there for a rainy day. If you find yourself a month or two short, you can lend based on the equity of your home instead of resorting to credit cards, which carry high interest rates. If you're an empty nester that has this large home that you just don't utilize, now might be a great time to capitalize on some of that appreciation and the equity in your home and save that for a rainy day, finding yourself something that's a little bit more comfortable for you now in the years to come. Keep in mind there is still forbearance available. Now, I caution you to make sure you do your research, as I don't want you to find yourself in a position worse off 6 months down the road than you are today. So make sure you talk and fully understand those terms before committing to that. And of course, if you just do have equity in your home and are stuck with that situation, you can always sell your home and find something in the meantime to hold you over that's more comfortable. So ultimately, when it comes down to 2021, unfortunately, I see our streak of declining foreclosures coming to an end. However, I don't see it being as extreme as people are making it out to be. Of course, be careful and monitor your situation. If you do want to know homes that are still in your neck of the woods, as always, we got a free report down there with 10 homes that have recently sold in your neighborhood. And if you want more specific numbers about what your home could sell for, always feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. I'm Jake Tysiak with Keller Williams. Thanks for watching. Stay safe in 21.